Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And let me start off by saying what an absolute honor and privilege it is to be here in a room full of winners. I love it. I love it. You know, you can't be in business and not be in sales. And I've been in sales almost 35, 40 years now. And I have to tell you something. When I'm standing here in front of a room of people who are not only in sales, but are 3% of an enormous group of people who've reached success, I am humbled. And I congratulate all of you for being in the room today. And today we're going to talk about something that only happens when you're prepared. And we're going to talk about what we're calling the journey. So we're going to begin with a couple of things here. Pick my glasses up here. We're going to go ahead and start with this presentation. And what we're looking at here is basically something that all of us understand, even though we don't acknowledge it. So we're going to look at this in terms of what it took to get into this room and what it's going to take to get here next year. Now, the one thing I want to start with is we had this gentleman over here who I congratulate. 4 times. You know, you don't do that by accident. And he was up here, and I remember you said I was lucky. And I beg to differ. This man was not lucky. This man prepared to be here the first time, and then prepared to be here the second time, and prepared to be here the third time. And the fourth time proves something we all know, but we don't think about very often. And what is it? Luck is what happens when preparedness meets opportunity. My hat is off to you. Congratulations. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that are the most important to all of us, even though we don't take time to think about it on a day-to-day basis, beginning with attitude. You'll see in this graphic that we have attitude, knowledge, goals, and focus, and they add up to what we call acquired skills. Attitude is all about a choice we make every day. We decide whether or not we're going to be happy or sad. We decide whether we're going to get up and go to work with enthusiasm or under the cloud of doubt and maybe a little tired of the routine. We make that decision consciously. Sometimes we do it unconsciously, but the people that are in this room made a conscious decision to get up, dress up, and show up every day and win this opportunity. And that is what attitude does for winners. The other thing we're going to look at is knowledge. Knowledge is something we acquire over a lifetime. Every day is a teaching day. Am I right? Are there any days where you don't learn something? Every customer teaches us something with every phone call. Am I right? The more knowledge you have, the more acquired skills you possess. And there's a dynamic about having skills that we just cannot deny, regardless of what your job is, whether you are an executive in a manufacturing organization or you are the engine of the telesales group, of which all of you are. And that is this: knowledge makes you difficult to replace. The more you know, the more valuable you are to your customers, and thus the more valuable you are to your company. And the more valuable you are, not only the more money you earn, but you become difficult to replace. And so you're not only keeping your job, you're teaching others how to get and keep their job. And look where you ended up. This was not an accident. You got here because you had the knowledge and you had the attitude. Next, we look at goals. Goals are critically important simply because without them, you wouldn't be here, and in fact, you may not be in the company at all. You might be doing something else, and then something else, and then something else. We need goals. With goals, we achieve things that we did not dream were possible, and they add up to acquired skills, and all of this helps us meet our future opportunities. Now let's look at focus. Suppose you have the right attitude. I know you have the right attitude, right? You got the right attitude. And you got the knowledge. You have the knowledge, right? Yes, you do. And the goals. I know you had the goals. You had to have, or you wouldn't have done this 4 times in a row. Now we look at focus. If you have the knowledge, if you have the attitude, and you have the goals, but you don't have the focus, it's easy to let your opportunities go right by because you won't know that that's what they are. So it's important that we have focus in our work and in our lives. The acquired skills that we get as a result of all of this add up to future opportunity, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today. Future opportunity is not known to us. We like to think we know what it is. We know what the next few days are going to be about, but we really don't know what's around the corner for 6 months from now, or a year from now, or 2 years from now. Or in the case of one young boy whose life I'm going to share with you today, 20 years, even 25. So today I'm going to share a story with you. And the story we're going to share is about a young boy born into a family with all the opportunity that you could possibly imagine. We're going to call this young boy Michael. And Michael, when he was born, had an opportunity to live a wonderful life in a family with a loving mother, a kind, sensitive, hard-working father, and eventually brothers, so that he was part of a family unit that brought love, attention, appreciation, affection, and opportunity to him. Now, many of us come from families like that, but this boy was kind of unique because when he was very, very young, his family gave him the opportunity to express himself in whatever way he wished. Now, when you're a kid and you're only 4 or 5 years old, you usually express yourself by playing outside, having friends, having toys. Generally, life is just all fun from morning to night. But his family encouraged him to pursue whatever was on his mind, to simply let his spirit be free and to express himself in any way he felt. This went on to serve him later in life, as you'll learn. It was very important that he learned these things early. And that's what we need to do in our work. We have to have the right attitude of gratitude. What we have was not an accident. Now, we may not have been born into millionaire families. We may have been born into families that were struggling. But it won't matter, because if we've got the right attitude, we'll do something with it. In other words, we'll deal with what we were given, and we'll make the best of it, as you have done. So let's take a look at what attitude really entails. To begin with, problems are solutions waiting to happen. How many of you believe that? Let me see a show of hands. Problems are solutions waiting to happen. Not too many people believe that. Your hands aren't going up. We need some more of that Maasai stuff. Ugu wawa. Let me explain what I mean by this. When a customer's on the phone and you're being asked to do something, you are a leader. You have the knowledge, you have the ability, you exercise leadership, you help the customer make a choice, and you do what has been asked of you. You're nice, you make a good sale, and you're basically a sales warrior, as has been said earlier in the day. And that means that you are going to be a solution to a customer with a problem. You are the solution waiting to happen when a customer picks up that phone and calls you. That's what you are. So if I'm a customer and I have a problem, it may be small, it may be large, you become the solution. It makes you very valuable to me. Because on any given day, the average customer that you're talking to won't know 5% of what you know. That's what makes you valuable to the customer, and it also makes you valuable to the company, because that customer becomes what we call a sticky sale. They're loyal. They don't go away. And you helped make that happen. So we need to keep teaching our other friends how to make that happen so that we can improve sales. And you know what would be really nice is to have a new group of ACE Award winners here and have a lot of them be your friends that you're working with to come and join you. So we have an opportunity this year to do that. Attitude also is about good, bad, better, or worse. How many of you get up in the morning, you go to work, and you say, you know what, another day of doing this, another day of doing what I did yesterday? Come on, raise your hand if that sometimes happens. All the hands should be up in the room. Many of us get up that way. I bet these executives get up to, oh, no.